What's going on, guys? It's Antonio from Akari Press here. Just a reminder, if you haven't checked it out, I've got the link to the first 21 pages of Brand, my comic book. It is in the description. You can read the first 21 pages for free. And if you like it and feel so inclined, we encourage you to go to the Indiegogo at akaripress.com and, check it out. Throw a few shekels down there and give us a little love. So I watch a lot of HBO, and they've been showing this commercial for his Dark Materials, and I had no idea what this was. And then, I normally, if I watch something on demand or something, I'll just skip through it or whatever so I can get to the show. They try to throw a couple of little promos in there. I was like, I don't care about this stuff, and I just flip through it. But I happen to be in the middle of writing something, and I kind of looked up on the screen, and I said, that looks familiar, and I actually watched the whole thing. So then I went on YouTube, and I watched the trailer for his Dark Materials, and that's when I realized this is the Phil Pullman book. This is the Golden Compass. It was, it's got that trilogy over in the UK. I guess it had that name, but I know especially like when they did the film, they did the film over here, and it was the Golden Compass. And I watched the movie. When Nicole Kidman was in the movie. I know Ian McKellen was one of the voices of the polar bear. I mean, they did not spare any expense on the Golden Compass movie. I mean, it was at least $100 million, and it looked incredible. Something, I don't know what it was, but it's just something just didn't hit home with people for whatever reason. I'm trying to remember. The guy from Deadwood, that was the evil polar bear. It's like Ian McKellen was one of the polar bears, and the guy from Deadwood, that was Al Swearingen, he was the other polar bear. He was the bad guy. I was just, man, like I said, they spent a ton of money on the Golden Compass, and they, it just it didn't do very well. So that's why we didn't get the rest of the story. But these books were like New York Times bestsellers. They were up there with like Harry Potter almost. Not quite on it. Harry Potter's a juggernaut, but I mean, it was selling enough. There was a couple of books like this trilogy, I guess, the whatever they call it, but the Golden Compass series, the Spiderwick Chronicles. I know a lot of people will read. Like, God, so many people were reading the Spiderwick Chronicles. There was a couple of these movies that they made because they were trying to compete with Harry Potter and trying to make it. They were like, Harry Potter's making all this money. They were just buying up any of these properties that they thought would be the next quote unquote Harry Potter. And now HBO is trying to replace Game of Thrones. So they've taken this first book, his Dark Materials. And I didn't know. I was like, this is the Golden Compass. So once I realized, when I actually watched the trailer, that was one of the things that they were putting out there, that this is what it is. So, loved the trailer. I think the way the Golden Compass bombed, I think his Dark Materials is going to be a big hit. I think this trailer looked outstanding. They did not skimp on the budget. That's one thing you used to have a TV special effects budget, and then you'd have a movie special effects budget. Well, now with shows like Game of Thrones, where they're spending $8 million on one episode and stuff just to get the special effects right, you can do the kind of, because they actually showed the polar bears in the his Dark Materials trailer, and they look good. They didn't look cheesy. The polar bear came out, had his little armor on and stuff. I was like, I'm trying to remember I'm trying to want to name all the people in it, because it's what's the girl name? Daphne. Yeah, Daphne Keane. Daphne Keane that played X-23 in Logan. She's in it. They've got was it my man Clark Peters? Clark Peters was Detective Lester Freeman on The Wire, and I love him. They've got Lin-Manuel Miranda. I probably said his name. The playwright guy. He did Hamilton. Everybody Hamilton was selling out on Broadway, and yeah, Boo Trump, all that kind of stuff. And he also wrote the songs on Moana, which Moana. I remember me and my girlfriend. We watched Moana so many times, and that was like our date movie. And then she left me. but Moana was one of those movies. It always had a special memory for us because that was like our first date. I don't know why, but I showed her two movies when we had our first date, and it was Moana and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find It, because she was a big Harry Potter fan, but she avoided the Fantastic Beasts movies like the plague. And then I showed her Fantastic Beasts, and she was like, "Man, I wish I had went to see that at the theater. That was really good." So I know she went to see the second Fantastic Beasts, Crimes of Grindelwald. But yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda. He's got a part in it. I can't remember this brother's name. He's the guy that played James McAvoy. James McAvoy is definitely in it. Last King of Scotland, which I loved him in. Obviously, he's Professor X in the X-Men movies now. But he's in it. And that was one of the I was like, oh, okay, James McAvoy will be all right. But he's in it. But one of the people, the guy that played Jeor Mormont, the leaders of the Night's Watch in Game of Thrones, Sir Jorah Mormont's father. He was the one that gave Longclaw to Jon Snow. He's in it. I was like, man. But like I said, I mentioned Clark Peters because anybody knows me knows how much I love The Wire. So The Wire, one of my favorite shows of all time, and Clark Peters is in it. And Clark Peter actually lives in the UK. He's lived in the UK for like 30 some odd years. And he was born in the United States, but I saw him, he did an interview, and he was talking about, he got a job, it was like in the 70s or something, and he got a job on the stage in London. He got offered a play over in the UK, and he was going to have to be out there for a few months, and he went out there to do the play, and he just was like, I don't know. He said that there was a different vibe in the UK than it was in the US. I think he had been in like around New York and some of those places. And he was like, people treated me different there. And he said, I got a lot more love in the UK. And for whatever reason, he just decided, you know what, I'm going to live here. So he would come back to the States to work. But past that, he would just be like, yeah, you know what, I like living in the UK, so I'm just going to stay there. So I did not know that him and I can't remember the actor that plays Jimmy McNulty on The Wire. But, they're like best friends and stuff. They've done plays together over in the UK, Royal Shakespearean Theatre and different things. But speaking of the guy that plays Jimmy McNulty on The Wire, he is also on a show called The Affair, and The Affair is on Showtime. And one of his co-stars on that show was Ruth Wilson. Ruth Wilson, she played Allison on The Affair, and a really big fan of hers because I watch a lot of British television. So because I watch a lot of British television, one of the things I watched was her with Idris Elba on Luther. She played, I think, what was her character? Mary. She was like smart serial killer type, and ended up bewitching Mr. Luther. John Luther had a little thing for Mary, but he wanted to catch her. He wanted to catch her, but he wanted to catch her too. So it was a different thing. But Ruth Wilson went from Luther to The Affair, and then her character died last season, and this is the final season of The Affair. And now I see that she is on His Dark Materials, and she's playing the part that Nicole Kidman played. So I mean, she's a brilliant actress. So I know she's going to kill it. And you know what? I think they're going to get this show right this time. If any of you were like, hey, man, I watched The Golden Compass. That show sucked. Guess what? They already picked up His Dark Materials for a second season. So we're going to get at least, this first season is going to be 8 episodes. So we're going to get at least another 8 episodes. So there's going to be at least 16 on this show. I think this show it looks fantastic. I'm excited. Like I said, encourage you to go to the HBO YouTube and check it out. The trailer looks phenomenal. I really think they spent some ends and dividends on those special effects. Really excited. I think what's airing like November the 4th or something, I think. But yeah, 8 episodes. It's gonna be incredible. And then we'll go into season 2. Just if you've seen the trailer, if you're a fan, let me know what you guys think. So with that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. And if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on this YouTube channel, everywhere is at Akari Press. And if you type in AkariPress.com, it will take you directly to my Indiegogo campaign for my comic book series brand with the phenomenal Kanan White. We're on Teespring, we're on Amazon.com. The links to those are in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. I'm out.